There are 8 of you standing here, but there is a nice Jukai student, Cullen, who had such beautiful aspiration and long practice. And she dropped her body before she could take the precepts with you. But she is very much here with us. So let us offer Daisagaki chanting for the deceased. And while we do so, Osamu-san, her longtime partner, will offer incense, and each one of you who worked so beautifully with her in preparing for this day, please also come up 2 at a time and offer incense.
Sengen Hotamu Moki
show. One stream of a valley pours the ambrosial nectar. 10,000 peaks of pine wind strike a Dharma drum. On this 20th day of October 2024, offering incense, flowers, tea, and light, with Daisagaki chanting, let us dedicate to Catherine Cullen. Her karma was drastically transformed on August 20th, 2024. Yet according to the law of causation, her nen pervades boundlessly. The physicist David Bohm has described reality as unbroken wholeness in flowing movement. What we call life and death are merely different aspects of that wholeness. Life and death are not separate states, but simply two stages of one endless continuum, unfolding from wholeness and returning to wholeness. Each of us is here but a brief instant. Yet there is no beginning, no end. What is essential is how we live this moment. Throughout her 67 years, Catherine inspired everyone who knew her, particularly Osamu-san, her beloved partner, but also myself, through our frequent Doksan, and her Jukai Sangha, who shared classes on Zoom with her and chanted Kanzeon for her during her final days. Catherine was born in Owatonna, Minnesota, and grew up on a dairy farm in that state. She received her Bachelor of Fine Arts from the University of Minnesota, and then spent several years in Mashiko, Japan, as an apprentice in ceramics. She received a master's degree from the New School for Social Research, New York City. Her home in Ward Hill, Staten Island, was on a migratory bird flyway, and she was an ardent lover of wildlife. A long-time Tibetan and Zen Buddhist practitioner, she dedicated her life to the creation of sculpture in many mediums, including alabaster, limestone, metals, and wood. She was also an accomplished poet. I met her because of the pandemic lockdowns. The forming of an online threefold Sangha was how we supported students, and it turned out to be surprisingly effective at creating an intimate realm of practice. The Zen Studies Society asked me to lead a small group discussion on Zoom in May 2020. and both Catherine and Osamu joined. Catherine began coming to Zoom Doksan after that, and upon my retirement from ZSS last year, she requested to continue as my student. Catherine, your physical body has fallen away, but your dedicated practice, creative spirit, and sensitive nature will never be forgotten. As formlessness returns to form, you will continue to walk this endless path with us. The Dharma name I had planned to give you today, Yudo, gentle way, based on what you told me in Doksan, is now your kaimyo, your death precept name. Yudo Catherine Cullen, the valley stream flows into the lake, water merging with water. The moon sets in the west, but it cannot ever leave the universe. We'll start our ceremony with the purification, which will be chanted by all of us together. Purification. All the harmful karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and folly, born of my body, mouth, and thought, I now confess and purify. Please keep your hands in gasho, and I will now do the fundamental precepts line by line with you Jukai students repeating after me. Refrain from all evil.
Refrain from all evil.
How about if you say, I will?
I will.
Can we try it again? Okay. Refrain from all evil.
I will refrain from all evil.
Now I believe you. Practice all that is good.
I will practice all that is good.
Purify your heart.
I will purify my heart.
This is the everlasting teaching of all the Buddhas. Now, you don't have to repeat that. You can just trust in that, okay? You should have a little handout. And this little handout will be very helpful. Now, I will chant Tisarana, the threefold refuge, and then you repeat. You chant it together, and then all Sangha will chant it. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhamman saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhamman saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. Now the whole Sangha, all of us. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhamman saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. To take refuge from the fundamental vista is to give yourself to your true nature, to the teachings, and to your fellow Sangha, and to all beings. So now I will ask only the Jukai students to say this threefold refuge in English. It's perfectly fine if you want to read it from your handout. When you get nervous, you can't remember a thing. It's fine. Hold it up and appreciate it. Okay.
I give my life to the Buddha. I give my life to the
Very good. My dear Tong, could you move your zabuchan to that side a little so I can see you? Because I want to tell you a few things now. This is off gasho. What an auspicious time for Jukai. It just so happened, Tong, that your parents were able to come for a visit at this time. First time to visit? All the way from China. And this past, hard to say how many days, it feels a little longer than 3, but anyway, it's been filled with so much Dharma activity. We could never do this if not for our practice of shunyata, emptying, seeing the emptiness of all phenomena. Who is doing all this anyway? Anyone? We have to give up on that idea, or we can't. Nobody is doing. So we heard sustained contemplation of the emptiness of the self can extricate us from ego-centered experience and liberate us from the prison of selfishness. So this amazing session, we started with the full moon, symbol of enlightened mind. On Friday, we celebrated the Zen Center's 52nd year of continuous practice. Chanting Yogonshu for the first time we've ever done it here. And we heard Jikyo Sensei's loving talk. And yesterday we had a rousing morning service. Cancel. Yes? And then heard the recitation and chanted the first half of the Diamond Sutra. And then met with Yaksan Igen Zenji and the king of the Banyan deer. This morning we did beautiful Mandala Day service put together by my Dharma grandfather, Soe Nakagawa Roshi. And it was followed by the grand finale of the Diamond Sutra. And we just offered Dai Sagaki to our dear Dharma sister, Catherine Cullen. So here we are. My dear Jukai students, you've been meeting with me each month since June, and with each other every week in preparation for this day. You've developed a very deep connection a trust that allows you to be vulnerable together, to speak openly of the many powerful things that have come up for you as you've looked into each precept. And look around. You are supported by a remarkable session Sangha from all over the country and on Zoom. And today by a number of family members and friends. So, today you have chosen to receive the precepts. But in fact, this is choiceless. It is an ongoing recognition of who you truly are. A human being called to live by vow. Or we might say by willingness instead of willfulness. In fact, what has led you to take this life-changing step on the path of Buddha Dharma is nothing but your own wonderful karma. Every bit of it. The good, the bad, the ugly. The Indian master Prajnatara, Hanyatara in Japanese pronunciation, last of the Indian masters in our Teidai Dempo lineage that we chant in the evenings, who transmitted his Dharma to Bodhidharma, said, "A flower opens and the world arises. In taking the precepts, each of you is vowing to awaken, to be the true flower you are. To open to this, which arises with you, awakens with you, and is never separate from you. Understanding the interdependent nature of all phenomena, your inner light can shine forth. And you can attentively and compassionately respond to the 10,000 things. The precepts are not merely a set of guidelines to which you can turn when faced with some dilemma. They're not a system of rules superimposed upon you. As we heard in the Diamond Sutra, there is no formula. Soen Roshi always said, these precepts are not given to bind you, but to make you free. To live in perfect freedom has nothing to do with circumstances, as you heard in Jikyo Sensei's talk. You may be behind bars, but freedom is yours to discover. Whether the bars are those you've made for yourselves or the state has put you behind. What keeps you from this perfect freedom is the very thought that it is elsewhere, that it lies beyond or outside of your present difficulty. True freedom is not a matter of preference. It is unconditional. It is more. As you may have noticed, living by the precept is an ongoing endeavor. Every day, oh, I just got so irritated. How did that happen? I was feeling so greedy. I ate that last cookie. Oh, I was just so mean to that person. Judging. All of these things, right? There are times when we feel pulled this way and that by habit energies, karmic imprints, blindsided by strong emotions. And so you may get caught up in old stories of blame and shame. The preferential mindset has deep grooves. And these deep grooves have very slippery, muddy slides. Once you fall in, hard to get out, right? Slip back, slip back, slip back. But you notice it. And there are all kinds of preferences, really. This session, for those of you who don't like ritual, by now it's all burned away, that preference, right? There's no better way to experience the difficulty than by going right into it. So we'll have a little more ritual for you. And you've probably also noticed that when you don't like something, you want to run away, there are myriad escape routes. And you're probably familiar with all of them. And also, you may have noticed that when you let your practice slide, when you have succeeded in going elsewhere, the darkness of ignorance will eagerly claim you. Yes? The claws are always there. So what then? What do you do? Return to what? Breath. And can you say that the breath is something? No. So what do you return to? This emptiness. Letting it go on the exhalation, right? You don't put a little bit of that breath in your pocket. You completely let it go. And here you are, once more, right here, in this very moment. We know on a very deep level what each one of us is going through. That's what you've come to experience as a group practicing together within this larger Sangha. Without a word, we're here for each other. Isn't that something? There's nothing to say, but to feel this. The cultivation of spiritual friends. The teacher-student relationship. This Dharma. This is such a precious gift. And we're all in it together. All the bodhisattvas are here encouraging you in the alchemical process we call practice. Why do I say alchemical? The 3 poisons of attachment, aversion, and delusion, or sometimes they are translated greed, anger, and folly. Alchemically transformed into generosity, compassion, and wisdom. This you can have faith in. You are doing this practice. It is transforming not only each of you, but all the people in your lives, everyone you interact with. The more you investigate what it is to live by the precepts, the more you realize how impossible it is to really follow them when you are still caught up in separate selfhood. The only way to live by the precepts is to awaken to the mind that abides nowhere, manifesting right here, now. So to undertake living by the precepts means facing yourself as no self squarely. You may notice how easily, even hungrily, you engage in little acts of self-deception. And so you have to see the old patterns as they arise, or the deception will grow and become something that seems solid. As Mujo Baker Roshi put it in the book that I challenged you to investigate, Opening to Oneness, a practical and philosophical guide to the Zen precepts. You have to examine deeply how we are as killers, stealers, misusers of sexuality, liars, misusers of intoxicants, gossips, blamers, misers, angry people, and abusers of the three treasures. I think that says it all, right? She says, examine how we are. She doesn't say who we are. It's how you are when you are consumed by neediness, when you worry that someone will find out that you're just putting on a show, that you're really not good enough. Who you are is what you have come to see in your zazen. Not an ego entity, a personality, a separated individuality, but a person who feels deeply, who is so sensitive, who can open to a natural welling up of aspiration and trust in that. When you drop your conceptual analyses, that's where faith manifests. So keeping the precepts with this mind is the second of the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections. If you need to move, please feel free while I have a little something here. What is this? Probably water. So we've been looking at the precepts, the second of the 6 paramitas. What is the first? Dana, which means giving. And this is the foundation of our practice. You just repeated, I give my life to the Buddha, to the Dharma, to the Sangha. In every moment, in every event, in every place, this giving informs our lives. Instead of grabbing, we are giving. That's amazing in itself. We go through our lives trying to get something, trying to attain something, trying to hold on. Oh, I had a good experience. What happened to it? How am I going to get back to it? Get. This mentality, right? It's all so deeply ingrained. So instead of being compressed into a little bundle of neediness, we are open-heartedly offering. And you can experience this right now just by doing this. Feel this. Huh? You can walk around this way. After a while, your arms may get tired, so you can do this. And then, okay. Wonderful. That's it. That's all. Or you may say, what else are you offering?
silent sitting without moving during Zazen. Everyone knows how difficult it is to feel the absolute imperative to move and not to move. This is a gift. Caring for each other, and of course, supporting this remarkable place. In the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha tells Subhuti that a bodhisattva should practice charity without regard to appearances, without regard to sound, odor, touch, flavor, or any quality. The bodhisattva should practice charity without attachment. It's difficult. Commenting on this, the Chinese master Jiang Wei-nung said, all the Buddha's teachings can be summarized by the word renunciation. Renunciation, he said, is another word for charity. So what is being renounced? What is being surrendered? I didn't warn you ahead of time that the Jukai ceremony would be koan work, but here you are. Here you are. What is being renounced? Could you say that louder?
Attachment to self.
Attachment to self. Attachment to the mistaken idea of a separate self, right? Which keeps us from realizing what we might call the true self. So you find this illusory idea of a separate self when you believe in it. You believe in the illusion of the separate self, which helps us fall into self-absorption, into self-addiction, all of which leads directly to huh?
Hell.
Yeah, Buddha called hell dukkha. Yeah, it leads directly to suffering, for sure. All forms, alienation, misunderstanding, trying to grab hold of something when we're feeling ungrounded. If you understand giving, if you understand it as something that is just natural, then the precepts too will be that way. Keeping the precepts will be as organic as a flower opening, revealing the whole universe just as it is. So then, the other 4 paramitas will be encouraging for you. Remember, the 3rd paramita, Kshanti, what is that?
Patience.
Yes,
Forbearance.
yes, patient forbearance. To be patient in the midst of everything you don't like. You probably have a long list. One of them is sitting still and receiving the precepts. So be patient and cheerful. This is the third paramita. You may want to scream in frustration, but just remember, whatever your karma brings is what you need to encounter. It's not something being done to you. It's something you are recognizing. It's so familiar. You've been trying to avoid it for so long, yet here it is. So to have an enjoyment for this is what the true meaning of Kshanti is. Patience. And then, sometimes you simply have to endure what you are sure cannot be borne. I'm going to say that we all will, at one point or another, have to do this. And maybe there are challenges in your life now, caring for someone who is very ill, dealing with the loss, many, many things. Each one of us will die. And each one of us is likely to experience great physical pain, as Catherine did. So just as it is, whatever is arising and falling away, and to remember that in this is the experience of Attadipa. You are the light itself, Viharata. Do not doubt. Atasarana, you are the refuge. Dhamma Sarana, refuge of the Dharma. You are never apart from this. The fourth paramita, virya. Yeah, wonderful energy. You can hear it in your own way, but very often it sounds like this. Oh, I'm so tired, I can't go on. I will go on. That's all. At any moment, just, okay, let's do it. How many days do you have left? How many hours? That natural virya, that natural diligence, assiduity for practice comes when we realize we don't know. Could be any moment. So don't waste. We are all living in a burning building, as the Lotus Sutra, which we chanted earlier, says. This urgent matter of birth, death, must be thoroughly investigated. And that thorough investigation leads us to the fifth paramita, which is jhana. What you are doing, sitting, zazen. No matter how you may feel about being worthy or not, no matter how much difficulty you are encountering in your practice, in your life, you just sit with it, right? You don't avoid a thing. Just sit. And with this intention, all your ancient twisted karma is purified. As Hakuin Zenji said in the Song of Zazen, just one sitting. If you really understand what that is, just one sitting to do Zazen this way. Purification. So you sit with a broad and radically accepting mind, a warm heart, and you discover the ease of being at home in your own being. And confidence in that stillness, in that opening of your own flower. Confidence builds. This is the fifth and amazing paramita. And the sixth is what you are doing here. Probing deeply, investigating further. Remember Ken Kesey's bus. It had the word further, spelled wrong, but still, further. And so what does it mean? Wake up. Know the joy of living with no complaints. Really feeling gratitude for whatever you are experiencing. Then you find you can have compassion for yourself and compassion for those around you. Thus we say, let us extend this mind over the whole universe. And remember, this precept ceremony is not in any way a culmination of your months of practice. It is but the beginning. Beginning again on this endless way. Now, please open your handouts to the names of the Buddhas. We will recite them line by line. I will do one line, you repeat that line, etc. Shinjin pa shin biru shano fu. Shinjin pa shin biru shano fu. Shinru shano fu. Senpai kashin shikyamuni fu. Senpai kashin shikyamuni fu. Torai asami so san shi 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 fu. Dai Shin Munji Suri Busa. Dai Shin Munji Suri Busa. Dai An Fuen Busa. Dai Kanshin Busa. Shi Somu Samokosa. Mokoja Horomi. Very good. Now, I will lead you in reciting the 10 important precepts. One, be reverential toward all life. Do not kill. Now you're allowed to say, I will, okay? From now on, you are going to say, I will, after whatever I say. Doesn't matter. You just say, I will. Okay. Go ahead, try it. I will not kill. You're not telling me do not kill. You're saying you will not kill. Okay. So sometimes you can't just read what's on the page. You have to understand what it is you're reading. Always, in fact. 2, respect others' property. Do not steal.
I will respect others' property. I will not steal.
3, be faithful and loving in your relationships. Do not succumb to lust.
I will be faithful and loving in my relationships. I will not succumb to lust.
4, be truthful. Do not deceive yourself or others.
I will be truthful. I will not deceive myself or others.
5, keep your mind clear. Do not abuse intoxicants.
I will keep my mind clear. I will not abuse intoxicants.
6, remember that silence is precious. Do not gossip or engage in frivolous conversation.
I will remember that silence is precious. I will not gossip or engage in frivolous conversations.
7. Be humble. Do not praise yourself or judge others.
I will be humble. I will not praise myself or judge others.
8. Be grateful for your life. Do not covet, envy, or be jealous.
I will be grateful for my life. I will not covet, envy, or be jealous.
9. Maintain equanimity. Do not give way to anger.
I will maintain equanimity. I will not give way to anger.
10. Uphold the 3 treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Do not discredit them.
I will uphold the 3 treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I will not discredit them.
Very good. Now, these precepts that have been handed down from our ancestral masters for generation upon generation are now yours. Uphold them in all aspects of your lives. Now, speaking of aspects, the Buddha declares, no, Shika-san, will you please go to the altar and unwrap the bundle of these students' Rakusus. Basha, will you please come forward and come here to this table and come this way, behind the mat. There you go. Come here, do a standing bow, then a prostration, and then kneel. Basha. Your Dharma name is Myoju, which means bright jewel. The bright jewel of your true nature. The back needs to be pushed down a little. She's here to help you. What do you think?
Beautiful.
You feel bright, radiating. Congratulations. Now you may go back to your seat. Now, Rudin, please come forth and same. Rudin, I am giving you the Dharma name, Shoen, which means luminous connection. The N is the same as the N in Ho-En. Congratulations. Now, Bonnie, please come forward. Bonnie, I am giving you the Dharma name Sojun, which means simple resolve. Can't quite get it, she can. In other words, you like it? Doesn't matter. You just do it. That's your practice. You don't think that that's necessary? Doesn't matter. You just do it. You don't feel like getting up tomorrow? Doesn't matter. You just do it. So this wonderful, this is Sojun, simple resolve. Congratulations. Kathy, please come. Kathy, I am giving you the Dharma name, Soren. Soren. Which brings you to the Bodhisattva's vow. Soren means so is thought. Ren is lotus flower. And soon we'll be chanting this. In each moment's flash of our thought, there will grow a lotus flower. And each lotus flower will reveal a Buddha. Congratulations. Soren. Max, please come. Max, I am giving you the Dharma name Daikon, which means great determination, which you have really experienced in spite of dark times, in spite of difficult years. You continue to sit and coming to session. Have you missed a session in the past? I don't know, 2 years, not a single one. And this is really great, great, great. Daikon. Great determination. Congratulations. Now, Tong, please come. Hong, I am giving you the name Keiki, which is so obvious. So obvious. It means joyous spirit, joyous energy.
Thank you, Roshi.
Congratulations. Now I will call John. John, of all the Jukai students, you persevered and made your own Rakusu. I don't know, take off the tape at the bottom there. And so I'm giving you a name that really captures the way you have been practicing with us. The name is Seigyo, which means sincere practice. No matter what this place has needed, you've been there, you've done it before we even noticed everything was taken care of. This sincerity of practice is most deeply appreciated. So, Seigyo.
Thank you, Roshi.
And Yosef, do you want your children to come in? They've been so wonderful. At least 2 people are trying to bring them in. Maybe even your wife too can come. Yosef, I am giving you the Dharma name, Kansho, which means illuminating reality, things as they are. Congratulations.
Thank you, Roshi.
You too have been such an asset here, building, repairing, whatever we've needed. And to have your family here today is so special. So, congratulations. I just want to say to all of you, what a pleasure it's been to work with you on this really amazing journey that you are on. Jukai never ends. And I know you've already talked among yourselves that you will continue having Jukai meetings, even though you live in different places. Thanks to Zoom, you will continue doing so. And I think that's really important because I spoke earlier about being here for each other. I think that what you have formed together, the 9 of you, will go on and will bring such a richness to this Sangha. So we look forward to your joining us for session whenever you can be here. Those of you who live in the Syracuse area have no choice. You have no choice anyway. So this is quite a wondrous moment. Thank you.